Hello and welcome to this short video about subtitling. In this video, you will learn about subtitling in terms of its uniqueness compared to other forms of written translation. You will also learn about some of its distinguishing features. The video will end with a suggested step-by-step process to doing a subtitling task. Let's begin. Let's start with a basic definition. What are subtitles? Subtitles are text derived from either a transcript or screenplay of the dialogue or commentary in films, television programs, video games, and the like. They are usually displayed at the bottom of the screen, but can also be at the top of the screen if there is already text at the bottom of the screen. They can either be a form of written translation of a dialogue in a foreign language, or a written rendering of the dialogue in the same language, with or without added information to help viewers who are deaf or hard of hearing, who cannot understand the spoken language, or who have accent recognition problems to follow the dialogue. Now that we know what subtitling is, we'll explore the main differences between subtitling and written translation. Simply put, translation means conversion of one language into another language in written or spoken form. Each of these forms of translations has its own characteristics. Written translation, which is concerned with the written form of language, is found in the form of translated books, magazines, flyers, social media posts, and the like. On the other hand, subtitling is a form of translation that mainly deals with transferring language between two modes of communication. In other words, subtitling is translating spoken language to written language. These two types of translations are different in many ways. In written translation, the translator usually has enough time and space to provide whatever they think helps in the translation process for the readers. They can explain foreign terminology through comments and notes. They can provide examples in the reader's language, and they can refer the reader to other sources if necessary. In subtitling, the subtitler has very limited space and time to translate what is happening on screen, whether it is a video clip, a movie, or anything similar. Because subtitling involves transferring spoken language to written language, the subtitler is required to pay attention to matters that are beyond what is being said on screen. For example, a movie subtitler should translate or transcribe names of shops, streets, or character names if their translation is deemed essential in order for the viewers to follow the storyline. It is also the subtitler's job to condense the information into one or two lines, relying on their ability of summarizing as much as possible should the situation require that. Now that you have become familiar with subtitling in theory, the upcoming slides will discuss a number of the top issues you may come across as you go about a subtitling task. As you go about doing a subtitling task, remember these characteristics that are unique to subtitling. Knowing them will hopefully help you approach the task with more confidence. 1. Everything is relevant. Try to sum up and translate everything on the screen, including visual marks, such as looks or gestures, that may add actual meaning to the speech. You must read through and understand a message composed of spoken language, sounds and image, and convey everything in written form. 2. Space restrictions. The translation must not cover more screen space than necessary. Because of this, there are set limits regarding the number of characters per line and location on the screen. These are usually dependent on the style guide given to you. This instruction should specify the maximum number of lines per subtitle and the maximum number of characters per line. 3. Time restrictions. The translation must appear on the screen around the same time as the actual utterance. Here is where one of the essential subtitling parameters comes into play: reading speed. No matter how good a translation may be, it is useless if the public can't read fast enough to understand it, right? Depending on the language and the reading capabilities of the audience, these parameters may vary. Nevertheless, you should keep this in mind. 4. Creative synthesis. Having so many restrictions, this kind of translation often results in the inability to translate the entirety of the original text. Subtitlers must then prioritize information and learn what to cut and what to add so as to give the viewers as much access to the soundtrack as possible, without overwhelming them by rushing their reading. The key to a successful outcome lies in developing creative synthesis skills that would allow the subtitler to convey the meaning concisely while staying faithful to each speaker's style of speech, register, background, and quirks that add flavor to the text. 5. Cut sync. Translators must avoid creating subtitles that trespass shot or scene changes. This is one of the most time-consuming technical aspects for the translator, as the speech actually goes across these cuts all the time, but it is crucial to guarantee subtitle invisibility. 6. Contemporary culture. There are many types of texts that pose challenges related to informal language and contemporary culture, but such difficulties are even greater in the oral language. For example, as a subtitler you may have to subtitle a joke while trying to keep its humor, style, and making sure it matches what's being shown on screen. Now comes the part where you are ready to subtitle. The upcoming slide gives a suggested step-by-step process to tackling a subtitling task. The steps are pretty much self-explanatory, but let's go through them quickly. The first step is to watch the AV content that you are about to subtitle in order to get the message. The second step is to watch it again while making notes on things related to subtitling such as number of speakers, cultural references, scientific terminology, and so on. The third step is to start subtitling. This is the step where you will be doing the translation, so pay attention in this one. The final step is to watch the subtitled product while paying attention to your subtitles and carefully assessing whether you have kept your subtitles neat, straightforward, and whether they do the job without hindering the viewing experience. Now, you are ready for your subtitling task. Hopefully, this short video helped you prepare for your next subtitling job. We wish you the best of results. And do not forget to have fun subtitling.